Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader. I have a message for Libra. I have asked my guides and spirit for a message for you that's deeply helpful and meaningful for you this week. There may be some specific information as well as bigger, more spiritual concept information. I invite you and encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, so that you can stay in consistent contact with information from the other side, higher vibrational information to help you move forward on your path in the most spiritual way possible. And at any point, if you feel compelled to comment or that would be very much appreciated. I always love to hear from you. Let's get straight to your reading because I pulled the cards and immediately the message was right there. Sometimes I have to look at the cards, but this one was like, bam, right in my face. So I know I'm talking to at least a few specific people, but there's a message for everyone. So let's get started. We have got the Ace of Wands for the energy around you this week. So there's some success going on. You've started something, a new venture perhaps, and it's going quite well. And that's a different way than I usually read this card, but that's what they're telling me to say, so that's what we're going with. We've got the Two of Cups for the way you're feeling. So instead of looking at your individual success, one, you're looking at two. You're kind of stuck in that partnership, codependent, looking at the other person thing, kind of mine is theirs, theirs is mine, and you're not seeing your individual achievement. And because of that, someone is stealing your thunder. I pull these cards out and immediately they put those words in. We've got the Page of Wands here. We've got the Six of Wands and we've got the Seven of Wands. Lots of Wands card. You notice we started with the Ace of Wands. So the only card that's not a wand is the way you're feeling, which is lovey-dovey in partnership mode. So, and this is probably most likely talking about a work relationship. It could be a partner. But it's something where your achievements are seen by the public. So, it could be a romantic relationship, but there's also a business component. But it could be a friendship, but there's an accomplishment component to it. I'm struggling a little bit. It's not just the private intimacy of a close relationship. There's a public component to it. So anyway, you have accomplished something. You have taught someone to accomplish something. Someone has accomplished something because of your input, and they're taking all the credit for it. It's the feeling I'm getting from these two cards. And because you're so caught up in that codependence, you're maybe not seeing that. You're maybe not standing up for yourself enough, which is why we have the Seven of Wands card. And why is it so important this week that your soul needs to see this recognition? I think some of it is because your identity is too fused in that other person, and you're not seeing the individual worth, the individual spark, and the individual contribution that you're making to this. So it's not just someone is taking credit, but it's that you're failing to see exactly what you bring, that spark, that life, that vitality to this project, to this endeavor. And again, this is something that is very common for you to do, where you kind of step into the shadow of the other person's identity. You step into the shadow of the other person and you don't see your own light. And what's also really funny is that, like I said, we've got all these wand cards and we've got one water card, and water likes to put out fire. So literally, because you're identifying too much with this partnership, your light is becoming dim. And also, because you're identifying too much with partnership, you're limiting yourself. That's the other meaning of this Seven of Wands. They're just shooting more information through as I'm talking. You're limiting yourself into actually what your identity is. So it could be your partner. I'm going to use a really silly example, but it could be that your partner is blue and you're like, okay, I will be a blue person too. But you've got the ability to be green, and you've got the ability to be orange, and you've got the ability to be pink. But you're forgetting about all of those because your partner is blue. You've decided you're going to be blue as well. So it's funny that I'm using the word blue, because this also says to me that perhaps this partner is in a bit of an emotional place, a bit of a negative emotional place, and you're going there instead of staying stable, instead of staying shining instead of staying light. You're going to the dark with them. They're not, and it's not in a way that's helpful for them. Do you know what I mean? Like if you have fallen into a pit, you need somebody to stay on the top so that they can put a rope down for you and you can actually be pulled out of the pit. If you jump down in the pit with them and you're both in the pit, now you're both stuck there, and how are you both going to get out? So there's just a lot of layers to this message this week. I thought it was simple, but um it's not. So let's see if we can summarize this. So this is really about making sure that you're being true to yourself, you're honoring yourself, you are acknowledging yourself. And when there is credit being taken for your work, that you're standing up and saying, "Nah, that was me, that was me." But also understand that this habitual identifying with your partner doesn't really help your own soul shine its light. So I'm not saying don't be in a partnership or don't ever have a partner or don't identify with them. I'm saying that make sure you remember all of that, all of what you are, all of who you are, and you don't you're in their path to enhance it, and they're in your life to enhance it. You're not in their path to be their path. You know what I mean? Like everyone is on their own individual path, and we walk next to people for as long as we're supposed to. But if you try to walk on their path, it doesn't work for you. It's like a crab trying to live where a crow lives. The crab would die. It needs to be by the water. And a crow can't live in the water either. It has to live up in the air. So they can walk alongside each other, but they don't have to do each other's paths because it limits your own soul journey here. It limits those opportunities. It limits the moments to shine. So, if that's the only thing you take from this, it may take watching it again just because the information was just kind of all over the place. But really, this is about embracing your own light, the self-love of loving who you are and being unafraid to have that shine over the partnership. Again, look at all this. Look at all this fire against this one water. The light of who you are is just, it eclipses, funny, it eclipses this water card. It eclipses the you that limits yourself in your partnerships. So if you've got questions about that, please reach out in the comments. You're invited to check out my website, trueguidancetarot.com. I have a new exclusive program called the Phoenix Path for people who are really eager and ready to self-actualize and work on themselves in a very intuitive, spirit-guided way. So I will see you next week and have a great one.